Thanks.
Gina McCarthy, the former EPA administrator under Joe Biden, says the Trump administration's plan to cut dozens of EPA regulations is putting lives at risk. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin joins us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Administrator.
Good morning.
Well, let's begin there. Are your regulatory rollbacks endangering our lives?
We're actually going to be doing a lot to improve the lives of Americans. Here's a wild concept that I'm sure you would agree with. We can both protect the environment and grow the economy. Why are we looking at this like it's a binary choice where we have to choose one or the other? What we are looking to pursue would amount to trillions of dollars of relief for Americans. We're talking about making it easier to buy a car, to be able to heat your home. We'll be able to create jobs, including inside the American auto sector. President Trump earned a mandate when the American people spoke last November with concerns over their economic lives and the prosperity of this country. That's something we take to heart. It motivates us in our actions. Our primary core mission is protecting human health and the environment. We aren't going to lose sight of the voice of the American public, though, when they demand that we are also greatly concerned about their economic future.
Exactly. All right, now to this one. The New York Times reports your department is going to fire more than 1,000 scientists in an effort to dismantle the Office of Research and Development. Can you confirm that, and what's the end game?
Listen, New York Times is ahead of their skis doing a faceplant on this one. I will say President Trump has directed the executive branch, all departments and agencies, to look for ways within our department to best serve the American public. For us at EPA, we are going to fulfill all of our core statutory obligations. We are going to ensure that we are doing our part to help deliver clean air, land, and water for all Americans. We will seek organizational improvements wherever possible. At the end of the day, we are about powering the great American comeback, making sure that cleaner, safer, healthier land, air, water for all Americans are achieved. But we also do it unleashing energy dominance, making America the AI capital of the world, bringing back American auto jobs, pursuing permitting reform, and much more.
So you're not confirming the New York Times report?
A decision is something that we are working through. We will, across all offices of EPA, always look for ways to operate better, more efficiently. But no, New York Times is way ahead of their skis on this one. I will say with regards to the Office of Research and Development, I'll give you one example. I met with our chemicals office, and they said that they thought it would be very helpful to reduce a backlog inside of their office if they were able to utilize personnel that's currently working on other stuff inside the Office of Research and Development. So that's an example of one improvement where we can possibly move personnel from the Office of Research and Development to the Chemicals Office and get rid of a massive backlog that we inherited. But that's just an example of one of the improvements. We're working through the process now.
Let me move on to this. President Trump says the administration will immediately begin producing energy with beautiful, clean coal. What else can you tell us about that?
This really ties to the regulations in many respects that we announced last week, which is the largest deregulatory announcement in the history of the country. What we saw during the Obama and Biden administration was a deliberate effort to try to regulate coal and other forms of energy out of existence. And that is the opposite of what we should be doing right now. Americans are desperate to be able to afford energy supply, and coal is a big producer of energy in many parts of this country, and we cannot be tone deaf to that demand of the American public. So we saw a Clean Power Plan enacted by the Obama administration. The Supreme Court said it was unconstitutional. So what did the Biden administration do? Clean Power Plan 2.0. That's one of the regulations that we will be looking at, because we are not trying to regulate industries out of existence to fulfill a radical left-wing environmental agenda. We want to be smart about it, deliberate about it. We want to protect the environment, and we want to grow the economy.
And finally, Mr. Administrator, from what I understand, you've canceled DEI grants totaling whopping $1.7 billion. What details can you give us on it?
We've had a great partnership with DOGE, and through their help, we have been able to identify now over $2 billion worth of grants that I've canceled inside of both the DEI and environmental justice space. It's about saving tax dollars, ensuring that we aren't wasting a penny. We couldn't have been able to do it without that partnership with DOGE. We're grateful for Elon's efforts, and he has a lot of very talented people who have been working with him. The people inside of our agency are EPA employees, the ones working on this DOGE effort, and we're grateful for their effort. They stepped away from other jobs because they care about selflessly serving the American public. For me, I want to ensure that we are being exceptional stewards of tax dollars. That is my commitment to Congress, to President Trump, and to the American people.
And to be able to do that with less regulation, which people on the other side of the issue just try to tie up every project in bureaucracy in order to not allow progress. And you're kind of on the opposite side of all of that.
Yeah, these regulations that have been enacted, once they're enacted, there are some on the left who want to treat it like it's a new commandment etched in stone.
Right.
That it's some holy grail that can now permanently, for the future of this country, never again be looked at or touched. And we just don't operate that way. And the American public spoke last November. Very
good. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, thank you, sir, for joining us. We always appreciate that.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.